when I first heard Cutswell, I hadn't heard him in a while, and I had a fight in boxing in Scottsdale, and he let me play with him at Ride House, and I remember hearing him, and I was like, yeah, like you really know this shit, and you know your room, like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love to be inspired by other DJs for sure.
yeah, yeah,
I
man.
just want to steal all the shit I'm hearing. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck, I want to pull out my Shazam right now, and I just like
Yeah, I
wish.
do.
Do you ever do it on the low?
Yeah, you got to turn the
Like,
brightness down. You got to put that bitch under your shirt or something.
bro, I'm like hitting like the brightness to like zero.
Yeah.
I remember I
Sometimes you
was
just need
in.
that heat.
I know.
Well, alright. Battle raps, cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so.
Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. Very special guest. I'm feeling a little slow motion right now. I got a Lala day 2 hangover a little bit, but we're out here making it happen. My boy's in town. Welcome.
Man, are you working, Lala?
I did like an airport gig on Wednesday, which was super
Yeah.
dope. But no, I'm not playing at there or anywhere. Just after parties
I
and
got a little
shit.
bit of history on Lala like earlier today. Like I guess I didn't know it was 25 years old or
It's
longer.
Yeah, it's like super OG festival.
Yeah, shit is insane, bro.
Yeah.
I could hear the music from like my hotel room.
It's pretty
Like,
tight. It's pretty tight. Living here, it kind of just is a thing that I've
Yeah.
seen a million times. But like when you step back and really look at it,
Yeah.
Lala's pretty
I
dope.
think that's how I feel about Coachella.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I gotta go." I'm like, been there, done that for like my entire life.
Are you from Cali?
Yeah, I grew up in Englewood, California.
Okay.
Which is it's LA, but it's like I'm like 5-7 minutes from LAX.
Okay.
So Century Boulevard, I can walk to where the Rams play now, but the Englewood I grew up in is not the Englewood. Like it's a whole different world now. Like,
What's
the
going on? What
gentrification-
changed?
The gentrification over there is insane.
Okay.
Like it's like Brooklyn 2.0.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like when I grew up, it was heavy Black Latino gangs, projects, liquor stores on every corner. The parks weren't safe. Like I got jacked for my bike when I was like 12 years old.
that's crazy. Was it a dyno?
It was
Yeah?
a GT dyno
That's
that I
probably
fucking
why,
bought
right?
with my own money. I was washing cars and cutting grass, and I got it in the mail because I used
No
to subscribe
way.
to BMX magazine.
That's crazy.
So I like got my aunt to take me to the bank and get a money order, and I sent it in, and they sent me a box with all the parts, and I put it together.
That's kind of lit.
And I was so fucking proud of this bike. And I was like going to hoop one day, and these two dudes just fucking jacked me.
That's fucked.
And one dude he cut me with a knife in my ribs. I still got the scar.
Damn, bro.
But yeah, that's not
Holy
happening
shit.
now. Now it's like women on rollerblades and little dogs, and
Yeah, they're not jacking dinos. They're eating like pancakes
they're
and shit.
lattes, and it's the price of the value of the living going up over there is crazy now. Like it's like the house I grew up in is worth $1 million. It was worth like 200,000 like 10 years ago.
Well, that's
Like,
one
it's-
positive at
yeah.
least.
Yeah, but it sucks because you see like people moving out that can't afford it anymore. Like it's wild, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you go to Vegas? Because you were in Vegas for a long time,
Yeah,
right?
I got to Vegas 2003.
Damn.
Right. So I finished school, but I didn't go there initially with like any intentions other than LA was dangerous and I needed to get the fuck out of LA because some of my friends that got killed. I knew I was like, if I stick around, something bad's gonna happen, and I need to get the hell out of here. And my family felt the same way, and I was like, this is the best move for me. But I was already DJing, but not like as a career. It was just like fun, hobby, like. So what it turned into in Vegas was just something unexpected completely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, okay, I'm in Vegas. This is dope. I'm in school. And then I got an internship at a radio station, and I was like, okay, I'm around this a little bit more now. This is cool. I can like do this and go to school and like have a part-time job doing radio. And then out of nowhere, the club boom just happened. And then that fucking changed everything.
Yeah, 2003. And then when was the club boom, you'd say?
Okay, so when I got there, the clubs that were going, the Palms was already big because of the Real World.
Okay.
So Rain was huge, Ghost Bar was huge, and There was a spot called Rum Jungle that was at Mandalay Bay. I think DJ Turbulence was a resident there. To my knowledge, that's what I remember.
Yeah.
And then there was a spot at the Luxor called Raw, but I wasn't 21 yet, so I actually used to sneak in. I found a little loophole. There was a restaurant connected to the club, so me and my boys would go through the kitchen of the restaurant when it would close and just walk in the back door. So I was in there like at 20 years old.
That's lit.
And like it was Warren Peace, who was a part. He's a part of what's his record pool that he's a part of?
Is it DMS?
Direct DMS, yeah. So him, Kevin Scott, all them dudes. Like I met Warren Peace. He was the first person I ever saw in Serato.
Really?
And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Was that the spot that had him and the dude MCing?
Mr. Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had a legendary Thursday night, and I think they did Saturdays too. And that spot was insane.
Yeah. I saw I saw him on Road actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I felt like we could have went deeper. Like, but like that shit was legendary. Like they had a article in Source magazine for that club.
That's pretty legendary.
Talking about Mr. Bob and Warren Peace and like hip hop in Vegas and what it was doing, and like some of the illest nights I ever saw like in Vegas were in that club. And then it ended up turning into LAX, AM's club.
Because they were talking about how he essentially brought like hip hop to the Strip, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I think that's when that episode was when Clinton Sparks was like, "Oh, I brought hip hop to Vegas."
That's
like,
right.
nah,
there was
man.
that whole
like,
thing. Yeah.
Warren was doing it, bro. Like there was guys doing it, and Warren was a huge part of that. And to see like what he did and how he influenced like just the city, man, like it was insane. Because that club, I think, was the blueprint for what these clubs ended up doing. Because Rain was just like ridiculous. Like it was like insane. But Rain didn't really have bottle service like that. It was just like the spring break crowd. It was just tourists. It was just massive. You know what I mean? And it was just like kind of like piggybacking the energy of the real world Las Vegas. So when you had Raw, it was a little more like bottle service, like bottle poppers come in spending like thousands of dollars. And I think they're like, oh, okay, like this could be the wave. And then right after that, you had, you know, the Towels popping up, and then Trist and Pure and all those spots ended up coming. And I hated to see Raw go, but like it definitely, I feel like, opened some doors.
Yeah.
The city, you know what I mean?
If it was like that was bringing hip hop to the Strip, and this is obviously before the whole EDM shit, what, if you weren't playing hip hop, what were you playing?
Man, so I think if it wasn't hip hop, you were definitely playing pop. At the time, pop would be, I'll retract. Dude, you're definitely playing rock. So you were playing rock, hip hop, a pinch of Latin, a pinch of reggae, and then just some randomness in there too, right? Like just like a bunch of sing along shit that was popping, like whether it be like Black Eyed Peas, whatever was big in that era. Like you might even throw in like some random like Red Hot Chili Peppers, but then you can go into Journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The rock set was like a real life thing.
Yeah, it's coming back.
It is. I noticed it, and I feel like I'm not mad at it because I kind of missed those sing-alongs.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like a little bit dreading it because I just didn't get it, and I was so young and naive and just like, oh, I want to play hip-hop all night.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, Sweet Caroline's a thing. Like, Journey's a thing. Like, Sweet Home Alabama is like, people in the Midwest love this shit. Like, maybe I need to be playing this more often. And then when I saw it played correctly, I was like, oh, okay, so I'm doing this wrong. Like, I need to, like, tighten my shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You feel like, I mean, for me, I feel like it's hard to, like, uncorny that shit in my mind, you know? It took me a while to be able to, like, confidently play a Sweet Caroline or, like, a, you know, Justin Bieber Baby or whatever the fuck it is, because I just had that was all in the corny section, but now we gotta take it out.
And you know what? I still struggle with that
Yeah.
because I feel like I get caught up in how I look. Like,
Yeah.
this is corny as fuck. I can't do this. Even with like some new shit, I'm like, when I first heard Million Dollar Baby, I was like, nope.
You don't like it?
I was fighting it because I
What?
thought it was corny.
Why?
Just the way it sounded, I was like, I don't like this shit. And then the first time I played it, I got it. And I was like, oh. The first time I actually played it, I think I was in Phoenix. And I was in Tempe on Mill Ave, which is like the popping area for like ASU kids.
Super lit.
And when I played it and everyone knew every word, I was like, okay, like I died. I'll fall back. Like,
Yeah.
but I still like couldn't figure out how to play Sweet Caroline or figure out how to play like certain like Prince records or like, because I felt like I'm this kid that grew up to hip hop. Like my influences are Pac and all these dudes, and I'm sitting up here playing a rock. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm compromising who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And I felt corny. I'm like, yo, if my boys that I grew up with on the block saw me playing this shit, I would never hear the end of this. That would be going through my head all the time.
That's why Marshmello wears a mask.
Yeah.
Play whatever he wants, bro.
No one knows. He ain't got no tattoos. He
Yeah.
good. He's like, whatever. Like, ain't nobody gonna know it's me.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
crazy. And that, like, if you don't have the confidence behind what you're playing, it somehow, some way comes through the speakers.
Yeah.
You know, like you could play that song, and if you're like, I don't know, and you play it,
Yeah.
they don't fuck with it. But someone else is up there who fucking loves that song,
Yeah.
and they play it, everyone fucks with it.
And it's fucking weird how that happens.
Yeah.
Is I tell my girl all the time, I'm like, yo, if we're out and she's like, can you turn it off and just enjoy music? I'm like, no, I can't. It's just embedded in me. I can't help but be a critic. And if someone that's DJing is not confident with it, I can tell. I can feel it. Just like a comedian telling a joke and he's like nailing the joke, but the crowd's not reacting. It's like it's something within the comedian that's not relaying the joke to the crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, the crowd knows. They'll feel that shit. Like you and I could play the biggest record. We could play Not Like Us the exact same way and bring it in. But there's something about your energy and maybe what you say on the mic that's going to be a little bit different from how I do it. And then it's going to relate a little bit different when you do it. And they both might work equally. But there's just something about your personality that comes out in those moments. And I tell DJs that all the time. Even like when I talk to younger guys, I'm like, bro, like, you actually use your personality to your advantage, man. Use the mic, use whatever you have, your looks, the way you dress, the way you are on the mic, whatever it is, how you do a little goofy dance when you're DJing, whatever the fuck it is, use that shit because no one else is going to be able to duplicate you. You know what I mean? And I've learned that, like, not the hard way, but I think coming into DJing, we all have like our influences, right? Like people that we look up to. So then you get caught up trying to be them. And you realize you can't be a better version of them. You just have to be the best version of yourself and maybe take from what others do and like implement it. And that's how I think, like, for me, like that's my style, I guess. Like I probably spent the first 10 years probably trying to figure out who the fuck I was as a DJ. Like, am I like the guys I heard in LA? Am I like the guys that I look up to in Vegas? I don't know. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. I'm sorry. I started rambling.
No, it's real shit.
Yeah.
Like there's like that chart or like that path that every creative person follows where you are imitating somebody at first and then you start to develop your own sound and then you're becoming yourself and like, you know, that's the standard path. That's all you know is like,
the corniness. Yeah, that's going back to the corniness. But yeah, like even now, man, like I really enjoy playing Espresso.
That's a banger.
It's a banger, right? But it's like I get in my head about it. Like, damn, like I'm like in this like bag right now. I'm in my like Doja Cat, Sabrina Carpenter like bag. Like, okay, how the fuck do I get out of this? Like, but I love playing that record. It's just women sing along, and there's nothing better than seeing a bunch of groups of women sing along to something you're playing because, you know, like if they're rocking, it's a good sign. And that's probably one of my favorite records to play right now.
Yeah. That's a great track. I love that one.
Yeah.
And the first time anyone ever requested it, I didn't even know what it was. I just saw it on the phone, you know, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
And then I found out, I downloaded it. I was like, this is kind of hot. I sort of wish I had it to play it for him.
Yeah. That's happened to me a few times where I'm like, fuck, like I hate that you're right.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I remember I was at Jewel inside Aria and I was playing at the beginning of the night and then this lady comes up and she's like, hey, do you have Nasty Girl? And I was like, you mean like the old school 80s joint Nasty Girl? She was like, no, it's new. The Tinashe joint. And I was like, what? I was like, Tinashe has a new song? I was like, stop, what out of here, whatever. She played on her phone and I was like, fuck, this is actually good. Like, fuck, now I feel stupid. I don't have this. And then like I like hurried up and like downloaded it and played it and I was like, fuck, this sounds amazing. Like, and that happens. And I'm like, I gotta be more open to requests sometimes because you just never know. Like that shit happens.
For sure. Yeah.
Like where someone will be like, you have this, and it's like, oh, this actually works. Like, I'm not mad at this. Like, and like I get like in my head about that shit too. Like where I have like gotta put my ego in check and just be open to it. Because sometimes I want to be like, get the fuck out of here. Like you don't know what you're talking about. Like
yeah, that's a huge part of it. I feel like that understanding that and accepting that recently for me has helped me just enjoy DJing more, you know, being less of like a fucking ego maniac. Like I know what the fuck I'm doing. Get away from me. Don't talk to me. Don't request anything from me. You got to mix it. Like, you know, you're up there mixing records. You also got to mix whatever the fuck you're doing. Sometimes you got to take requests from people that are cool about it. Sometimes you got to just do your own thing and give them what you got, a piece of you, you know, like you were talking about earlier. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
But being able to do that is definitely huge. Except last night, I'll be honest, I took a request from someone. It was an ethnic request. They wanted some Indian music. And there was enough of them there where I was like, if I play some Indian shit, like they're going to go off and everyone's going to kind of go off. If, you know, I'm not going to overdo it, give them a little something.
Yeah.
So I do it and it's awesome. It goes really well. And then they just constantly want more. Like you give them an inch, now they want a mile. And I had to be like, yo, you got your shit. Like enjoy the rest of this. You know what I mean?
Now let me get back to it.
Yeah. Like that shit.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Because if they're cool and you give them a bone and they're like, oh yeah, what about this one? You're like, bro, like there's other people here too I gotta please. Like it can't just be about you now. You know what I mean? Question, what's your ethnic background?
I'm Italian, Polish, Russian. I'm a white mutt, but I'm also Jewish, which makes me look a little like Middle Eastern, you know?
I prefaced that because I wasn't sure. Like, cause you could easily be Armenian. Like, so last week I was at the pool and this Armenian guy comes up. It's like pool's about to close, but he's like wilding out, like throwing like hundreds of dollars of bills, like he's at the strip club, but in the pool, just going crazy. And like he's at one table, and then there's this other group of like Indian guys at another table. And I didn't know Indians and Armenians don't get along.
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know that either.
I guess it's a big thing.
Really?
Or maybe he was making it a big thing. I don't know. I should do my research, but he was like, he asked me for an Armenian track. So I was like, cool. I don't really know the like nuances of Armenian music. So I played it and I'm like,
did you have it or you had to download it?
He showed me something on YouTube. I just downloaded it on the fly. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. But in my mind, I'm associating it with Punjabi music because it has similar sounds. So I played his track and I followed it up with a Punjabi track. And he was like, what the fuck is this Indian shit? He was like, I don't want to hear this Indian shit. You're making these other guys happy. Fuck them. Fuck these dudes. He was like, you know what? Here's $100. Play Not Like Us. He's like, them motherfuckers are not like us. I was like, oh shit. All right.
You starting beefs in the pool.
Yeah, it was weird. But I was like, I didn't know that was like a beef like that. Like,
was it because they were Indian or was it just on some like I'm the guy in the club, like fuck those guys?
No, I think it was both. I think it was I'm the man, I'm popping bottles. He brought out like an army of bottles after that. Like the entire staff brought out bottles for him and he was like just spraying it around, just going crazy. I think it was his 50th birthday. He was with his wife and some of his buddies. I think it was the I'm the man kind of moment, but I think there was also something to there's like I don't even think it was a beef between the Indian guy, but I think there's something there where like their cultures don't see eye to eye. Like maybe one thinks I don't want to say one thinks they're better than the other because I don't
Yeah.
want to downplay either side of the coin on that because I respect cultures and I don't really know much about that culture, but there's something there. And I was just like, this is interesting because I've never seen this kind of energy before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've seen it with like Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and like, you know, Haitians and Jamaicans. Like my background, like my family, a lot of them are Jamaicans. So like the Haitian culture and the Jamaican culture, like they don't see eye to eye for whatever reason. I don't know, but they bump heads. So like you go to Miami, you know, to see a Haitian and Jamaican is probably rare. Like you're not gonna see that.
Yeah.
But it was just funny to me. I was just like, wow, man, like these dudes are really getting after it. And the dude was older. Like I could just tell like there was just something there. He was just like, I'm not feeling these dudes. And it was interesting. Yeah.
That's always fun. But at least it turned out good, you know?
Yeah,
It went
yeah.
for the best.
He was cool about
Gave
it.
you $100, bought a
Yeah.
bunch of bottles.
Yeah. The club, their pool was happy.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, this dude, like, keep it going. I think I might have played like 30 minutes of like his shit. He just kept coming.
Of Armenian shit?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
How was the rest of the place reacting?
It was like the end of the day, so they didn't even care. Everyone was
Okay.
burnt out, sunburnt. You know what I mean? The one artist I remember was this dude named Super Seiko. Have you familiar with that?
No.
Super Seiko, I guess, is a huge Armenian artist. And then there was another track. There was a woman had a track. I can't remember her name, but she had a track with Marshmello. That was like this like Armenian / EDM record that actually sounded really good. I was impressed.
That's dope.
I was like, oh, like I can actually use this. Like if I have it be in a situation again. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that is the dopest part about doing something like that for someone.
Yeah.
You're getting tips, you're making money, you're making a connection, the club's making money, but then also now you have this little crate of Armenian shit in your
Yeah.
back pocket for the next
Yeah.
time you need
I got
it.
like 5 to 8 records ready to go. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like if this ever happens again, like I'm prepared.
Yeah.
And now I know the difference between that and like a Punjabi sound. Because I had no clue. I'm like mixing it up and he's thinking like, what is this dude doing? Like
Yeah.
But he was cool about it, man. Like he wasn't a dick. Like he was actually really, really cool. He's like, nah, man. Like these are the Armenian tracks. He's like, you can play these in any wedding. Like, trust me. Like these are the go-to like tracks.
Yeah.
I was
I'm trying to get my Punjabi crates up, bro. I'm trying
Ooh,
to do
I
these
gotta
Indian
give you-
weddings, dog.
Yeah,
I'm trying to transition out of these nightclubs.
Yeah.
Fuck these little paychecks. I want to walk out with bags of money. I'm trying to get these Indian weddings, bro.
yo, and they're not afraid to throw money.
I know, bro.
I got a
It's
solid
insane.
crate. I'm about to give it to you. I got a decent crate that I
Alright.
built. And shout out to DJ Five. Like years ago, I don't even know where the fuck he got it from. I was actually like, why do you have this? But I heard him play a couple of records one night at Tao when I opened for him years ago. And he was like, yeah, man, I'll give you the crate. I've had it. Like, and it's a bulletproof crate.
That's
And it's
amazing.
just, whenever I need to just go into that bag, I can just hit that bag. And it's insane how it still works to this day. And I've added some pieces in there. Actually, Cutswell gave me some good tracks that he's probably had to play in like Old Town.
The track I played last night was a Cutswell referral.
Which
It
one?
was Bad Fella.
Okay.
Yeah.
He put me on the Brown Monday.
Brown Monday goes hard too. Yeah.
And when I first heard it, I was like, this is kind of like mellow. I don't get it. But when I played it, I was like, oh.
It's like what Tebote is to
Yeah.
Mexican people, that is to Punjabi.
Have you ever seen the video of that song?
No.
It's like just a bunch of like Indian dudes like with their homies, but they're like chilling on 18-wheelers. Like Mack trucks and shit.
That's hilarious.
And like I was asking Cuswell about it, and I don't know how he knows this or why he knows this, but he was saying that I think like the Indian community has like cornered the market for like 18-wheelers. And
For
so
real?
like that's a big industry for them. So like that they were like a lot of the like guys that drive across country or like dude, a lot of them are like Indian now. So like them being on 18-wheelers in the video was kind of like a thing.
it's a flex.
Yeah.
Check out my fucking my Peterbilt.
Yeah, like you're on your Mack truck or
Yeah.
whatever, like just fucking in your Carhartt suit and some Timberlands. Like it was funny, man. But yeah, I got that one from him. I got a few others, but everyone I've ever done from him, like it actually kind of works. I'm like, yo, good looking, Cuddy, because
Yeah.
I be needing some of them tracks, bro. Especially they come in and they want to hear their shit, and I'm like, I got you. You don't know. You don't know. I know. You don't know. I know. I got you.
Sharing music, you find there's like two types of DJs, right? There's like the people that hold on to their shit and would never give it to anybody because they're like too scared that like, I dug for this, I found this, I did this work, it's for me, I'm not giving it to anybody else.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that are like, I'll give you whatever you want, you can have my whole fucking library, you know?
Yeah. I'm definitely on the latter. Like,
Yeah.
you can have it, bro. Like, I think that's missing in the like DJ world. And I feel like it's one of the few industries that it's like that, because when I started from nothing. I started on vinyl, and obviously when things went digital, I didn't have a library. So I was piecing my library together. I had some really good homies that were like receptive and was like, yeah, man, you can, whatever I have is yours, and vice versa. Like, and we would just sit for hours and go through music, and I feel like it actually made me better. And I kind of miss those times where you can just sit down with the homies, grab some coffee or lunch, and then go over music. Now everyone's so like kind of like to themselves, and like, this is mine, this is my baby. Like, I don't want anyone to have this shit. But I feel like if you and I were doing production and we got in the studio together, you could make magic, because your brain works differently than mine. So no matter what I play, you're gonna do something different with it. You know what I mean? So you could have my entire library, I could have yours, and I would not sound like you ever. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Like, you can have whatever you want, man. Any genre, like, it's all free music that we didn't make, like, that we're playing someone else's music, someone else's shit. You can have it, man. And if it benefits you, cool. You're not gonna like take a gig from me because you still have my library. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just cool. Like, whatever, man. Like, I never will be that kind of guy where like I'm holding on to shit.
Has anyone ever done that to you? They took your music
Yeah.
and then took your gig?
No, but
That's so reckless.
funny shit. I had a homie that I remember this must have been 2007. Vegas was in this phase where they were doing like DJ battles for residencies. That was like a
That's
thing.
kind of wild.
Yeah, and it kind of was cool because it was like bringing out the best in people. Like, so like I'm competing, and then this guy that I know, I didn't know he was competing too, but he asked me for my library, and then I get to the gig and he's playing the damn near the exact same shit I was gonna play because he had my library.
Oh, damn.
So then on the fly, I had to switch it up and like play different shit, and I was just like, okay, this is probably didn't go well, but fuck it. Like, it's my fault for giving him this shit. So I can't even be mad. Like, but I was a little mad that he didn't tell me he was involved. You know what I mean?
And
so
he
like,
went
bro,
up before
like,
you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, and I think he ended up getting it, and I did too, which was cool. But a part of me was like, damn, did I fuck up? Like, did I just like hand him the keys and he got this gig? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
it worked out. But I don't think I would change anything, because even with those that crate and like the stuff I gave him, he played it completely different. So, and I've honestly been really, really fortunate to have been given like some gems from guys that like, I'll be like, hey man, like I heard you last night. That shit was dope. Like, and they'll be like, yeah, it's cool. Like five. I remember the first time I ever headlined in Vegas, and I was nervous out of my mind. I've been like opening for these guys, and a part of me feels like I'm not on their level. Part of me feels like I'm not worthy to be DJing in these rooms with them like that, on that level. And you go through that mental fuck, right? Like, you just like,
Yeah.
like, damn, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I know I'm skillful and I know I can do it, but I just don't know if I deserve this. Like, just beating yourself up.
Yeah, unfortunately,
And
I don't think that ever goes away for me, at least.
Yeah, and then so like I remember I was like, bro, come to the crib, just go through my laptop, whatever you need. And that's exactly what I did. And I was so thankful, bro. Like, and the times where people have needed music from me, I always repay it, because I know like I definitely wouldn't be where I am without the help of like guys that really helped me. You know what I mean? There's a list of guys I could name that have helped me along the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if anybody ever needs music, I don't care who it is, bro. Like, I'm there. Like, here, you can have my whole hard drive, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck. Take that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel the
Yeah.
same way. I got the same treatment from my boy Architect out here. He was like, because he wanted me to succeed. The whole thing, especially in this DJ world, is like, he's at a spot, right? And he's trying to get to the next spot, and he needs somebody to come in to fulfill the spot that he's trying to leave, but like gracefully, so that you're keeping the context, you know, you're not burning a bridge and all that. So like, he wants you to succeed. It's not like this cutthroat thing where it's like, oh damn, this guy's gonna work here, I'm not gonna be able to work here anymore. It's like, no, please do the best job ever. Like, keep these people happy, so that my recommendation means something and I'm not fucking them and they're not mad that I'm leaving. So like, gave me his whole library, anything I needed, all that shit. So yeah, I mean, repaying that is such a big part of the DJ community.
Yeah, man. I've seen the other side of that too, where I'm like, yo, that was dope. Like, yo, can I like, you know, get with you and maybe like trade some music? And they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then I text him like the next day and don't hear shit. And then I'll see him again, like, hey, yeah, what's up, man? Oh yeah, hit me up. It's all good. And like, yo, yeah, I'll hit you up. Hit him up the next day, yo, crickets.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm like, all right, I get it. Like, I ain't gonna ask you no more.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna ask you no more.
Yeah. But those people don't, like, you're not giving back to the thing that brought you somewhere. Like, it's gonna affect you negatively somewhere along the way, like on some karma shit, you know?
Yeah. It's gonna happen. And if it doesn't happen like right away, like in some other form, you know what I mean? Because I've seen 360s in Vegas. Like, the guy that, and not just on music, just in how life happens. You know what I mean? Like, one of my good buddies right now is the GM at Marquee. He was a busser at Lavo when I started DJing, and I was cool with him. You know, I could have had every right to not be cool with him. He's like the busser. There's not much I can do for him or he can do for me at that point, right?
Yeah.
But we're always cool. And now that he's a GM, he still keeps that same energy. He's cool as hell, treats me with respect. I treat him with respect. And I just love to see where he's gone. And it's like, I don't think for 1 second he didn't keep tabs about who maybe treated him a certain way when he was a busser.
I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And you know, shit, I would too. You know
Same.
what I mean? I would too. And so like, just that one example, I always keep that in the back of my head. Like, man, you just never know where people are going to be. And so when someone needs something from me, or if I can be of help, I'm always cool, respectful, and I try not to be a dick. And every once in a while I get caught up with being a dick and I feel bad about it. And then I retract and I'm like, hey man, like, I'm really sorry. I remember like April, like a busser came up to me at the end of the night and he was like, yo, can you play Like That? It's like closing time and I'm tired. Like, it's like 3:30 in the morning. I'm tired. And I'm like winding down. I'm playing R&B. I'm playing chill shit. And I'm like, bro, it's 3:30 in the morning and you want me to play like that right now? I'm like right now, bro. When you hear me playing fucking soft R&B, and he's like, oh my bad, like, and I was like, no, you don't get it. Like, I like went in on him and I felt terrible because I like thought about it. I'm like, you know what? He just wanted to hear some cool shit before he gets off work, man. What the fuck why am I so caught up in this shit? Like, and I went up to him and I was like, hey man, like, I was wrong. I apologize. He's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I shouldn't have came at you like that. I was like, I'm tired. I had a long night. I got in my feelings about playing some shit you wanted to hear. My bad, bro. I was like, you didn't deserve that. I apologize. And he was like shocked. He was like, man, like, yeah, that's cool. Thank you. And I was like, yeah, man, like, I was like, that ain't who I am, bro. Like, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't say anything wrong to me. I was in my head. My bad. And then I played it for him and then he had to, you know, club closed and he was cool and he had to do what he had to do, like, you know, getting the club closed out for the night. But I felt like shit. I was just like, why am I being mean to this dude? Like, he didn't do anything wrong. Like, he asked me, you know, like, just little shit like that. Like,
yeah,
you know
I feel that instant regret after you
Yeah.
do some shit and you're like, damn, why the fuck did I just do that?
Yeah, like, this dude didn't come at me sideways. Like, he didn't say nothing stupid. Like, he just wanted to probably hear something before he closes up and has to like clean his place up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I gotta get out of my own head and like understand how other people might be feeling sometimes. You know what I mean? But going back to just what we're saying, like I never try to let my ego get in the way no more. Like I've done that and it's backfired on me. Like, and I've had some, plenty of like nights I could regret, like drunk nights and just done stupid shit and just. I'm getting older, you know what I mean? I want to just make good decisions.
I feel that. I feel that deeply in my soul.
Yeah. Like I want to make good decisions, man. Like I don't want to be like making the dumb shit, doing the same dumb mistakes I was doing in like my early 20s. You know what I mean? Because now it looks insane.
Yeah.
If I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
It's
You
like,
see those people too who never get out of like the loop. Like whatever, doing dumb shit is part of life, right? You're growing up, you're younger, this and that, whatever. Yeah. It's a good time most of the time. Dumb shit, fun. It's a
great time. Yeah, like,
but
great memories, like you with your boys, you wilding out, you're in different cities, you're having fun, you're meeting people, you're networking, you're traveling, like, you're getting exposed to just so much shit, man. So you're gonna make stupid mistakes along the way for sure.
Yeah.
But I can't be making no mistakes like 15, 20 years in.
Nah, after a certain point, you start seeing people who continuously do it and can't break the habit and can't like grow up, and you're like, damn, you almost feel bad. You're like, that must suck, you know?
Man. Like when I see like homies, like, it's a good example. I choose my battles wisely, right? Like I'll have friends in town. So cool. We'll go hit up whatever gig I'm doing. Then we might go to after hours, right? I might stay out till 6 in a couple times a year now. There's a point where I was doing that every weekend. You know what I mean? Like it's
networking.
Yeah. Essentially. But it would be like no sleep. Like I remember I went through a stretch of DJing the nightclub, after hours, pool for like a whole like probably 3-4 years straight, just like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like that was just like no sleep. Monday, Tuesday, I would be a zombie. Or I couldn't do anything. Like it's not realistic now. You know what I mean? Like not the way my life is now. Like there's no way I could do a club till 3-4, DJ at after hours till 7, and have to be at the pool at like 11.
Yeah, that's
until
fucking
like
reckless.
Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and like the constant thing for all this is a heavy dose of alcohol. Like shots, sugary drinks, probably not really eating. And if I am, it's some really shitty food, Jack in the Box.
Some chicken fingers or something.
Yeah, like a McDonald's right by my crib that's open 24 hours. And I'm scarfing down Big Macs and fries and go ahead.
This is like when you're younger and hungry, right? Just getting gigs and shit, and you're like, I'll never turn $1 down.
Yeah.
Like I'll work 24 hours straight. I'm getting paid to DJ, like I'll do it all. Yeah. Right?
And the money is like a bonus because you're just enjoying life and you're enjoying being in that moment and having these opportunities. So you're taking them all. And you're like, yeah, I'm not turning down shit. I'm taking all these checks.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, all money isn't necessarily good money. Like quality of life has like creeped in on me. So now I'm like, quality of life on a Sunday afternoon is nice. Like I get to get up, make it to church when I can, because every Sunday is not realistic for sometimes. We're like doing different shit, but if I can do that, go like a Sunday brunch, maybe catch a movie or something, that's great. Then I get back to the grind on Monday. You know what I mean? But yeah, like quality of life has definitely changed, man. Like I got nieces and nephews that are older. I want to be a part of their lives, and my mother's getting older. Like just different values and responsibilities for myself personally, right? Like, like I just see things different, man. And it's crazy how that happens, because it's like when you're just in the middle of it, you don't see that shit at all. And then it's like I'll see like the homies that are younger, and I'll be wanting to tell them something, right? And I'm just like, nah, I can't tell him shit. Like there's nothing, like he has to just go through this. Because if I try to tell him something, I look like the OG that's like hating.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to be that. I want to be like, I want to be here if you need me and ask questions, but I can't stunt his growth, right? So I'm just gonna let him or her go through that, right? Like, go wild out to them, do them 6 and 7 o'clock a.m. mornings and have to be up in a couple hours and hit the pool. Do that shit so you can understand, and then you just organically you'll get it.
Yeah. You only step in and intervene if it's needed.
Yeah, if it's detrimental, or I see you maybe getting in trouble with the law, or shit like that. But other than that, you just gotta live it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just gotta live it.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. because I did.
Same.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I've had some amazing experiences. Like, I've been able to travel, you know, a lot of different countries, a lot of different states. I've got to meet a lot of different cool people. I've got to connect with DJs around the world, man. Like, I've done some amazing weddings. I've DJed some amazing events, concerts, like clubs, like festival stuff. I really like am thankful. I'm really thankful for like my life's path so far. And I'm not perfect and I've made plenty of mistakes, but I think that all those things have built me up to be something that I never thought I could be, which is like the person I'm like really comfortable with now. You know what I mean? Like it's, you know, I'm 42, right? So I've been doing this since I was 20, and like I wouldn't change shit, even the bad. I wouldn't change shit, bro. And I say it with a smile because like I've had some like amazing times, man. Like I've had some great times with Cutswell. I love that dude. He's a wild boy, but
Nobody's
he
ever had
is
a bad time with Cutswell.
hell no. It's not even possible. Like that dude is like such a good person, man. Like when I moved to Scottsdale, like he's the first person I told. And I was like, bro, like I'm coming out here. He's like, makes a lot of sense. Do it. I think you need a break from Vegas. I was like, I think I do too. And then it worked out. So
What do you think the break from Vegas, is that kind of all built into like working, you know, triples and all that and just grinding it down to the
I think I got to a point where I couldn't escape what Vegas. So I equate it to, imagine if, when I try to explain it to people, I say like, imagine if you worked at Disneyland and you also lived on the property. Imagine that. It's like you don't get a break from being at Disneyland. It's like that becomes your world. And because it's your world, but you still love it, you do it. But then it's like you still need to be able to shut down and just have a life outside of that. So I felt like I was lacking being able to escape what Vegas is and just have a normal routine. And it wasn't because I didn't love Vegas, because I love it and it's made me who I am. But I felt like I just, even on my nights off, I couldn't shut down because you constantly have friends and family coming in town. Friend of a friend, hey, I'm in town, what's going on in Vegas? Hey, can you show me around? Hey, what spots are this? And then you almost feel obligated to play host. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't get out of it because I would feel bad because I'm actually there. Like it was like I'm sitting on my couch and I got friends or family in town that want to hang out, and I'm just too drained to do it. And now it's like I can pick and choose those battles, and being away has actually given me a greater appreciation for what Vegas is. But I had to step outside of it to really gather that back, that love and appreciation back.
Yeah.
I had to step outside of it. I feel like maybe you probably, you know, dealt with some similar, because you were gone, right? Like you left to go to Houston.
Yeah, I went to Houston, and that's when I realized how much I truly love Chicago, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
What was it about Houston?
Bro, it's just not like the number one thing for me is that I couldn't really connect with people there. Like they're just different people, Texas people in general, and then I think even Houston within that, you know, like they're different people. They think differently, and like it's great for them, but it's just not for me. And I could never like truly connect with people out there. And I always just felt like so alone. All my family's here, all my like real friends are here. I had two really good homies out there, but they're grinding, they're on their music shit, you know, like they don't have time to fucking just kick it and fuck around. They're 25, trying to make it happen, and I respect it, you know, like I love those guys, but they're not even from Houston, they just live there. So like those were my homies, but it was tough, bro. It was tough just being somewhere where I never felt like I fit in. And the culture's so different. It's like they think that Houston is Hollywood or something. Like they act that way. Like I go to Hollywood, you go to LA, and you expect that, right? You're like, these LA people are LA people because they live in LA.
Yeah.
You know, like they're like movie star type shit. This is Hollywood, you know?
Yeah.
And that's expected there because that is Hollywood. But you can't act that way not only not in Hollywood, but in like just a shit city.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it just nothing made sense to me.
Yeah. I've only been to Houston once, and it was for less than 24 hours, and I didn't really get a gist of what the city was. So I feel like I have to go back for like a few days and just check it out.
Going
myself.
to visit and party and all that, like, great, awesome, for sure. You'd go to Houston and have a blast. It'd be amazing. But to live there was a different animal, bro.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because Texas, every city is so different. Like, at least from the ones I've been to. I think I've been to Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, El Paso, and they're all like four different completely different worlds. Like El Paso feels like Mexico. Like I think you have to be bilingual to even get a job in El Paso. And then Austin, extremely liberal. Like diversity is crazy. And you got UT right there. You know, San Antonio, heavy Latino, heavy military presence. I think it's like 80% Latin Mexican or something like that. But I love it out there. Beautiful place, great food. And in Dallas, I feel like feels like the big city of the ones I've been. I've never, Houston obviously I haven't really checked out, but Dallas just felt like a little different.
Dallas feels like a real city to me, like tall buildings, downtown-ish kind of thing. It's like feels like there's been a lot of money put into the city and that.
Yeah.
Houston to me never felt like a city. Like you can't even walk somewhere. You can't walk from one build, even from downtown to like midtown. There's like sidewalks just disappear, and you're in a ditch all of a sudden.
Yeah,
like
that is one thing about Vegas, that when you go to other cities and you get an opportunity to walk, just like today, like we had brunch at what was the name of the spot again? Wishbone in West Loop, and just to be able to walk blocks and just hit shops and coffee shops and just different things. In Vegas, it's centered around the Strip, so that's sort of what it is, but it's like different. It's just, again, it's like Disneyland, so it's like it's an attraction walking down the street in Vegas where you're like, oh, those are the Bellagio fountains. Oh, this is, you know what I mean? You go into these places and it's like you're just amazed at the size and the Ferris wheel and the fountains and the casinos and the cha-ching, like it's just all going on around you, and it's just like that energy is like addicting, like an amusement park. You know what I mean?
I love Vegas, bro. I love for that exact reason.
Do you gamble?
I love to gamble, yeah. Like just to be able to be watching ridiculousness in the hotel room and be like, I'm fucking bored, I'm gonna get up and go downstairs, because there's endless opportunities of anything in the entire universe that you could do. It never stops, it never shuts down. Just the comfort of that, to me, of like there's always something to do, I'll never be bored. I love that. It's amazing. It's addicting. Yeah, it's addicting.
It's addicting, bro. I never got into gambling, thank God, but I got friends that if I know they're in Vegas and they're not answering their phone, I know exactly where they are. They're on that table. Or, you know what I mean? They're on those slots. They're playing blackjack. They're doing some on them tables, and they might be there all day. I got a buddy from Canada where he comes and he'll gamble 24 hours straight, no sleep, maybe a coffee.
That sounds awesome.
And he goes, bro, and he'll be down 10, 20, 30 grand. He might be up 40. Like he just loves that shit. I don't even think it's the money for him. He just loves like the adrenaline or something.
It's the rush. It is the money, but it's like it's just the rush of like, she's about to turn that card over, bro. You got fucking 19. She's showing a 5.
Yeah.
What could happen? Oh my God. It's that fucking, you know.
It's like I don't understand craps. Like, but when I see people losing their mind, like screaming when I'm like walking out of a gig, and they're screaming at the top of their lungs, hugging and high fiving. I'm like, damn, that's kind of ill. Like, I wish I knew what that was about.
Yeah.
Because I don't get it, but you just must have made some money, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love it,
yeah.
bro. I want to eat an edible, sit at the blackjack table,
Oh,
just
yeah.
coast.
Yeah, you know they got the lounges popping up now.
Where you
weed-
can smoke. There's like a designated area.
Yeah, like the weed lounges, like where you can like buy the product, go chill in the lounge, and they might be have a DJ, and like you could probably order some food and drinks or something and just chill.
That's tight.
Yeah, I think LA's getting on that too. I think they gave the first license a year or two ago, for like a weed lounge kind of like vibe. So I think that might be something that's popping up. I'm curious to see what happens with it. So
Yeah.
I think it could be a thing, but it's tough. It's tough with Vegas to compete with the casinos. Like if you don't have gaming, like and it's off the strip, it's a whole different thing. Like the level of marketing you got to put into that is crazy if it's off the strip. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think something like that will ever be in a casino, but I know they're gonna start popping up.
Can you smoke a cigar in the casino? No, right? Just
you can do
cigarettes.
cigarettes. Oh wait, you might be right. Maybe it's just cigarettes.
I think it's just cigarettes.
I think maybe certain lounges allow cigars. But I think you're right. I think it's just cigarettes. Yeah.
No, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, but like just
Yeah,
the
me either.
thought of sitting at the blackjack table, smoking a cigarette, high off a little edible.
I got friends that are like, I only smoke a cigarette when I'm drinking alcohol, and I'm like, how does that work? Like, what do you mean you only do it when you're drinking? Like, there's something. There must be something psychological.
For
Because I've
sure.
heard many people say that, where it's like, I only want to hit a cigarette if I'm drinking alcohol. It just intensifies my high or something, or my drunk state.
You get that little extra buzz. You mean you smoked a hookah, right?
Yeah.
I love hookah.
Yeah.
It's nicotine, you know. It's that
Yeah.
nicotine, that little head rush, that
That-
little.
oof.
Also,
That-
just
oh.
the act of smoking, like you're blowing something out. You feel like a dragon or something, you know. Like,
Yo, some of the most like probably drunk nights I've had has been like when I'm drinking and I'm smoking hookah,
yeah,
because it's like that lightheaded feeling kicks in. You're like, oh shit,
yeah.
what the fuck just happened?
I want to smoke a hookah right now. That's what I miss about Houston the most, bro.
Yeah?
Every DJ set, there was a hookah right next to you.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. I wish there's a few plus spots that I wish I could just have like a hookah next to me when I'm DJing.
It's so fire, bro.
When I go to like different states and they have that, I'm like, yes, please give me a hookah.
It's such a nice treat.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I think Dre's After Hours, I think they still serve hookah downstairs at the After Hours. And man, like that shit, when you have a few shots or drinks or whatever it is you're doing, and you have a hookah too, and you're just sitting there chilling until 5, 6 in the morning. Yeah, bro, that shit definitely. So I guess from that standpoint, I could see why a cigarette, like,
That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
just it's a little hookah.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that. It's wild.
It just, to
man.
me, it just smells so bad. I hate the smell. Like, if
Yeah.
it didn't smell, if it smelled like a hookah, I'm in all
Yeah.
day. Sold. I'll take the cancer. It's worth it. But it just smells so bad,
Yeah,
bro. I
cigarette
hate it.
smoke. I don't know what it is, man. I have like a phobia of cigarettes. My mom, she quit when I was like late teens, but growing up, she was smoking cigarettes, and I hated it.
In the crib, right?
Yeah,
My whole family, bro. In the
Yeah,
crib.
I
My
hated
dad, my mom, my brother, even. Like,
Yeah.
he was such a bad kid that for him to be in the crib smoking a cigarette where, like, they knew where he was, that was cool. You know? They were like, yeah, smoke cigs in the crib. Like, don't
As long as we know
leave
you're
and
safe.
kill yourself, you know?
yeah, man. I had like relatives where it was just in the furniture. Like you just walk in the house, that
Yeah.
shit was just reeking in the furniture.
I got in trouble in school. Like, I put my jacket in the locker and my whole jacket just reeks like cigarettes because everyone's smoking in the crib all day. They thought I was smoking cigarettes. I'm like, no, I'm not. It's actually everybody but me.
Oh my god, bro. Like yeah, like something about cigarette smoke just never sat well with me. I don't know what it is.
Gross, dude.
Like alcohol never been a problem, but cigarettes, I'm just like, oh, what is that? Even marijuana, like weed was fine. Like, you know, my uncles, cousins all smoked growing up. Like my grandparents, you know, my grandmother, grandfather, I love them to death. My grandfather passed away, but grandmother's still here, luckily, man. And they're like just the coolest, like hipster, like Jamaican culture family. And in the house growing up, it would be Bob Marley, Gregory Isaacs, Peter Tosh, the Wailers, like you name it. and it would just be like incense burning, like a little bit of weed smoke in there. You know what I mean? Like just
That's so
vibing on a
tight.
Sunday, and so like to me that shit was normal. But then cigarettes, I was like, oh, what is this shit? Like, what is this? This shit smells horrible. Who wants to smoke this? Like, we actually smell weed that smells like fresh grass. Like, who the fuck wants tobacco?
Yeah.
This shit is disgusting.
It's crazy. I remember there was one time I was in the bathroom. I'm sitting on the toilet. My mom, she smoked Virginia Slims, like those fucking 120s that were
Yeah.
just like dragon slayers. And she left it sitting right in the ashtray on the windowsill. And I'm in the bathroom. I was like, I'm going to try it. Like, fuck it. I'm going to try it. And I like grab it, bring it to my face. And it just, the smoke coming off of it's in my face and just stinks and my eyes are burning. I'm like, I couldn't even get it to my mouth. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't fucking want this. It's disgusting.
Man. That shit, I don't get it, man. I'm glad I don't have an addictive personality that ever got into that shit. Like, that's just not for me. Like,
I'm ready to start my journey.
yeah.
Once they make odorless cigarettes, I'm in.
Probably.
I'm sold.
I think at one point having a pipe was cool to me.
Pipe would be fire.
Pipe was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of cool. Like my great grandfather, he had like a stack of pipes, and he like just looked cool hitting the pipe. You know what I mean? He would be like, have like a cognac and just hitting his pipe, and he'd be talking to his boys, maybe playing cards or something. You know what I mean?
That's lit.
I was like, and then I was like a big Popeye fan. And Popeye,
yeah.
Popeye had the little corn pipe.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is dope. Maybe this is the way to go.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was the same shit as the cigarettes, and I was like, nah, no, pipes look cool. Even cigars, I never got into cigar culture. Like,
I like a cigar. It feels like you're not hurting your body as much because you don't inhale it.
Yeah.
You're just in your mouth. You catch a little buzz from the nicotine, but
and there's like a whole culture with cigars too. Like, that's like a big deal. But I don't like really get in. I haven't really gotten into it. You listen to a lot of comedians?
I love comedy.
Yeah, me too. I love it. Like, I feel like their lives are so similar to ours.
Yeah, 100%.
I remember I was listening to Kevin Hart has a podcast, and he was talking to Cedric the Entertainer, and he was talking about cigar culture, and like that was just like a thing that he was really into, like with a bunch of his buddies. But I'm glad you're into comedians, because I have like a love for comedy, bro. Like, the path that they take is so mirrored to the shit that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
That when I listen to them, I feel like I just understand them, and I just get it. Like, the lonely road trips, the going to these cities that are small, starting out like really knowing who you are, and you just gotta build your name. And with comedy, there's no shortcuts with that shit, because even if you're popping, you can get booed off stage. Like, Dave Chappelle still talks about that shit. Like, he bombed, and like Kevin Hart talks about bomb, and Joe Rogan talks about bomb, and it's like, bro, like, you're a celebrity, don't save you on that stage. And I love that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're a celebrity DJ, you can kind of be like decent, and your celebrity will keep you going. But in comedy, it's like the realness, bro. Like, that shit comes out and you're alone. Like, you're isolated on that island. If you're not funny, people don't give a fuck who you are. And I admire that so much, because I'm like, I couldn't imagine telling jokes for a living.
No, bro.
Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you write jokes to the point where you're that good that you can do an hour-long set and continuously do it and have to recreate your jokes? Because once the jokes are recorded, you can't use that shit no more. So every city you go to, you gotta either have people putting their phones away, locking up phones, and doing that set for like a whole year and doing a tour, or you just have that much material to where you're just good like that. Like, that is like the most admirable thing I could think of. Like, I'm addicted to comics, bro.
Yeah. I listen to all the comedy podcasts, all that shit. It's so similar. And it makes me feel so much better to hear some comedian that I love who sells out arenas around the entire world talking about how he bombed last night trying out some shit. Because, like, you know, I'll try a mix out and it might bomb, or I might be not doing my best work, you know, in a DJ set or something, and it's just what it is. It's just, you know, sometimes that's how it is, and you don't do as well as you want to. You can always go back to your muscle memory, to your shit that you know works, you know, your little heavy hitter set
Yeah.
combos or whatever. But to hear them talk about bombing makes me feel so much better when I bomb. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing that's crazy about them is that for us, we have great muscle memory with like records we know work together, right? For a comic, they can't go back to that old joke and reuse it and expect that same applause or that same laughter, right? So then I'm like, bro, like the level of like mind fuck that must be to know you've been preparing a joke for a few months and you say it and it just doesn't go well. The level of improvisation you have to get out of that and keep it moving and keep your set going and keep people engaged is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to ask you too, because you just brought up a good point. Do you think, because I struggle with this too, like I'm not afraid to like bomb, but is that like do you think that's a lost thing, like where people are afraid to bomb? Because I feel like a lot of people are afraid to like just try new shit sometimes and then just see if it works. And if it doesn't work, fuck it. All right, cool. I'll get out of it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. And I mean, I think that a lot of newer people don't even have the self-awareness to know that they're bombing.
Yeah. That's
like
scary.
Bro, there's a DJ that I play with often who does wild shit, crazy shit, where you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. And then he'll turn around and be like, sick, bro. And I'm like, what? What are we doing here?
Yo.
You know what I'm saying?
That's wild that you say that, because I think you're right. Like the self-awareness is kind of like non-existent. And you're like, wait a minute, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Like that crowd just completely lost. And like, I know there's just time and place for everything, right? And so I feel like there's time and place where, wordplay is not appropriate in certain situations, or, different routines aren't appropriate in certain situations. And to not be aware of that is scary. And it's like, how do you tell someone that without them feeling insulted? You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes I just fall back and like, just gonna let you crash and burn. But I would love to tell you something, but I'm afraid you're gonna be offended. So instead of that and compromising our friendship, I'm just gonna say nothing.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I love the kid, and I would love for him to. It's definitely partly alcohol, I think, because like. It helps to an extent, for me at least. You take a couple shots, you catch a little buzz, you have a little bit less going on in your head. You're not as caught up in your own head and overthinking things. But then too much alcohol, you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
You're not in the same room as everybody else. Yeah. You're in a different world.
There's like a level of confidence that becomes almost arrogance. When you're on that level, and you're like, they're gonna love this.
Yeah,
watch this.
And even if they don't, you still feel like they do. Yeah, you're like,
and if they don't, you're like, well, fuck them. I'm the man.
Yeah,
I've been there. Yeah, where Same. I'm like, they're gonna like this shit. They don't like it, huh? Well, fuck you then. You don't think this is cool? Well, I know I'm cool.
Yeah,
and I'm obliterated. Like, it's not okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like there's something cool to bombing though. Like the times where I've seen DJs that I love and respect, even if it's unclear to the like consumer's ear, I might just hear a little something and I'm like, oh man, they're human, thank God. Like that makes me feel good. That makes me feel like they're not like indestructible or like just like a robot or a machine that's just perfect. And it just reminds me that none of us are perfect. And that making a mistake in real time is okay. Like, you ever like listen to an album and you like listen to it over and over, and then maybe one time you pick up an imperfection on the album and you're like, oh shit, like that. It's like it almost like reminds you of the human element to making music.
Yeah.
And like that's how I feel when I hear like a dope DJ. One of my favorite DJs coming up that really, really like, when I heard him play, this was at Body English. Do you remember Body English?
The name for sure. Yeah.
It was like mid 2000s. I think they shut down 2010 at the old Hard Rock, but it was just they had a party called I think it was called Sunday School. It was the only Sunday night thing in town. And Vice, it started out with DJ AM. AM was the resident on Sundays, and he got so busy that he couldn't do it every Sunday. So then he was splitting time. He was letting Vice do some of the Sundays, and then eventually Vice took it over completely. And DJ Melody from the Beat Junkies would open for him. So I would go there early and just listen to Melody, man. And it was like every set sounded like a perfect mixtape. And I was just blown away at how clean he was, his scratching, like the way he was with just getting in and out of songs, like knowing when to stay in the song for 2 verses, getting out of some songs in 1 verse, like just everything was so strategic, and that was like a masterclass. And I was like, dude, like this shit sounds pre-recorded, but it wasn't. It was just he was that precise and that clean. And then I remember one time I heard a little something that he did, and he caught it, but no one else heard it.
Yeah.
But it made me feel so good, and I'm like, damn, he's human. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I've seen this dude so many times, and it was just perfect. But it's like that little imperfection is cool, because it's like, okay, cool. Like, you know, it's just not out of the ordinary for someone that dope to make a mistake. And when you like get to that point when you just realize that, like, it just sets something inside me, like, okay, cool. Like, that means I don't have to be perfect. I can continue to make mistakes and continue to grow. Like, I don't have to ever be perfect. I can strive to be, but I'm still gonna make mistakes. You know what I mean? 22 years in, I'm still making mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm happy for that, because it's like I still got room to grow. You know what I mean? Like, I'm cool with that shit. Like, I'm cool with making mistakes.
Yeah, that's real shit.
Yeah, man.
And speaking of mistakes, I drank too much water before this, so I definitely got to take a piss real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I want to, I got some questions after. You need anything more water? You got to pee or anything?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Hold on. The Party with Strategy podcast has a brand new sponsor. Make sure you guys go check out Rendezvous Limousine Services for any of your travel needs around the Midwest. It's the best you can get, top notch. Let's be honest, everyone's a little sick of buying Ubers, getting charged for Uber X's like they're black cars, and you know, the market's just not what it used to be. You might as well go with your best bet, Rendezvous Limo Service. They got party buses, they got Sprinter vans, they got Escalades, they got Navigators. Only the best of the best. Make sure you check out Rendezvous Limousine. You can find them on Instagram at RNDZ Limo, or their website, Rendezvous Limousine. If you're grammatically challenged like myself, Rendezvous is RENDEZVOUS. And we might as well do limousine as well. LIMOUSINE. Rendezvous Limousine. Best you can get anywhere you want to go in the Midwest. Airport pickups, drop-offs, party buses. Just going to see a friend. Do it in style. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the episode. Thank you guys for watching. All right, so I gotta ask. We gotta know. Former member of the Road podcast, founding member, founding father. What's going on with that?
So there's a lot that probably went on or had gone on. I think the majority of it was on me. Like, I was like, 2023 was probably the biggest transitional life period for me. Like, that year was just insane, and I had all kinds of just personal shit going on, and a lot of it was affecting my relationship with the fellas probably more than I cared to realize. And I think that we had to have a sit down and, like, you know, kind of like, what's best for you at this point? Like, what's best for you? What do you think it is best for you? And I was like, I really don't know, but I probably need to make some changes. Like, I think I was like, so I haven't drank since March of last year. Like, I had to make like life changes. Like, I was in a like space where like I wasn't comfortable with myself anymore. I think that was a part of the reason I moved. I just needed change, and like my life was just like in a weird space. Like, you know what I mean? And it was like affecting my personal life. It was affecting my career. I wasn't happy. And I think me stepping away was probably just best for everybody. You know what I mean? And I think we all agreed to that. And it was a harsh reality, because they're like family to me, right? Like Crooked, I've known Crooked since 2007. I've known Jamie since 2010, and Neva the same. Rest in peace to Neva. I met Neva 2006 or 7, and not being able to be a part of that, like it hurt. You know what I mean? Because like you go from seeing people, those guys, I would see each other 3-4 times a week sometimes for the last like 7 years. So to go from that to nothing is just kind of like weird. But it was probably the best thing for me too, because I had to do a lot of internal work, right? Like going to therapy and just like really trying to figure out what's best for me in my life and how I want to like live my life moving forward. And I think that they saw that too. And I think that when it came time to like part ways, it was beneficial. And maybe at the time I didn't see it, but I think it had to happen. You know what I mean? And it's, a lot, I get asked that a lot. So like, I'm completely fine with, telling people that, but I think that it just had to happen, man. Like, and I like Crooked is like a big brother. Neville was like the OG that like I always never really had. And then like Jamie was like a little brother. Like I was kind of like the middle kid, you know what I mean? And one of the first amazing sets I ever heard in Vegas was Crooked. And I've always been like a fan of his, and we became friends, and I just looked up to him, and I still do. Like, I think he's an amazing dude, an amazing DJ. And Neva was like the first person that I saw DJing at a high level. Him and Warren Peace probably that like looked like me. So I always like had like a love and affection for him. And I think that, we all make mistakes, you know what I mean? And I made plenty. And I think that I didn't want my mistakes and my personal shit to affect the brand and what was going on. So like me stepping away just made sense. And I don't think that it was a bad decision, like looking back, because it's helped me just learn to be a better person and a better human being and be more in tune with my family and more in tune with myself and just like work on myself a lot more. You know what I mean? So that's really it, man. Like we definitely don't talk as much as we used to, because I think our common thread was always the podcast, right? So that was like what was like outside of us being homies, like that was like the common thread every week. We were like group chats, going through artwork, going through how it is, like dealing with production stuff, like planning trips, doing meetups, like doing stuff for South by Southwest, whatever the case. So that definitely was a blow, man. And it's like I have my days where I miss it. I just miss not even just like the podcast, but just like the homie shit. You know what I mean? But then I like look back and like, man, it was all for the betterment of like just me growing, and it has helped me grow a lot. It's helped me grow a lot. So I hope I answered it as best as I possibly could.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's crazy because I've never really talked about it at all. You know what I mean? Off record to like people that asked or whatever, but like just on record, I've never really, you know what I mean? But I'm glad you asked, because it's important for people to know like that I hope they understand that there's nothing like I could ever say negative, or there's no beef, or there's no like bad blood or any of that shit. You know what I mean? It's just something that we collectively felt was just like better, like just for us to like move on and part ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you miss like doing a podcast as ass backwards as it is, because you're like on camera, it's for the internet, you're like doing a thing for content, but in reality, it's the only time in my entire life that I'm not on my phone, distracted by other things, and I'm just sitting having a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, do you miss that at all? Or do you get that outside of the pod?
I think I do miss it. I think there were like great stories of reflection that I miss, and then there's always like learning like sides of people that you may have not known. And like you said, like it's like raw, like it's raw. Like there's no phones going on, so it's like you just get the full attention of people, and that's really hard to get in like normal life.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's always some kind of distraction in the midst of that in normal life. So to have that was dope. And I think that there's a level of honesty that came out with that stuff too, to where you wouldn't get that any other time. So like, I think an example, I think one time we had Skills on, and I think that at the time him and Jazzy Jeff weren't speaking, and he didn't really understand why at the time, and I think it got like emotional for him, and we could all feel it, and it's just like, damn man, like what's going on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that they reconciled and it was all good, but I think that because he had started stepping into the DJ world, um, I think he was worried about how Jazzy Jeff might have received him, that like he was stepping into his world, and like he didn't ever want it to seem like he was stepping on Jazzy's toes, I guess. And I think it was affecting them, you know. And but I think they reconciled, and it was dope. Like once they did, and they were all good. But I could tell his energy was so raw. You know what I mean? Like, and it was an emotional thing, and it was like, fuck, man. Like you could just feel that shit in the room. You know what I mean? It was tough.
Yeah.
I never forget that because we did that one at the DJ City office, their old office, and this must have been like 2017 or 18 when we did that one. But you could definitely feel it. But then, you know, even just it's traveling and like just fun shit, man. Like, of course, you miss that shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like camaraderie with it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to have that. Like, I feel like it was a lot more prevalent when I started. Like, a lot of DJs would just get together and have fun and have talk, and like barbershop talk, and like go out to eat and do different things together. But now it's a little different. Everyone is a little older and has their own lives, so you don't get that as much. So to still have that amongst them was really, really dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's tight. That
Yeah.
I miss most in the entire world is like going to the diner after everyone's done with their gigs.
Yeah.
And like me and Dola would roll up, and then you'd see Metro there, and then he's at your table, and then there's other DJs coming, and everyone's just a big powwow, and you're talking shit, and
Yeah.
you're talking about your night and the crowd and managers that we all know, whatever, all that shit, you know? Like,
Yeah,
I miss
man.
it so much, bro.
And we used to do that. There was a few spots we would go to. Like sometimes it would be the Rhino and just grab food. Sometimes it would be at a Vietnamese pho spot. You know what I mean? Like we would just have so much many nights like that, bro. We would be out to like 5, 6 in the morning, just chilling, talking, just bullshit, and talking about our night,
Yeah.
our weekend, and like different sets and like managers that, you know, we can't stand or whatever. You know what I mean? Like those are fun, man. And I was doing that early, so it was like I was kind of like a fly on the wall in those nights, like because I didn't have like the experience to draw to like even be in those conversations, but just to see the guys that I respect having those conversations was just ill. Like whether it would be like Obi-Wan and like Five and, you know, Vice, and like just dudes that I just had so much respect for, and like the work they put in and like what they were doing, man, and the way they were killing it. So like to have those moments, to be in those rooms and just being able to like listen to them and like share knowledge and just break bread with them, man, like it was just dope. Like I just felt so fortunate to like be a young kid like coming up, and they just accepted me and they allowed me to be around like that, because it's like, how could you take that for granted? You know what I mean? Like these dudes are like superheroes to me in a lot of ways, and like to just be around them, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I met Eric Deluxe. He was dating a chick from Danity Kane, and we were all hanging out, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like I'm in the booth with Deluxe, who I like grew up listening to on the radio, and he's dating like this chick with the hottest group at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and we're all like just hanging out in the booth together. It was just like an amazing feeling, bro. Like to just be around that kind of energy and then be cool.
That's so
You know what I
sick.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I know
It's
that,
like-
that surreal feeling of being like, you're like, I never fucking thought I'd be anywhere near any of this.
Yeah. This is wild, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good feeling, man. And like I look back at that shit and I'm just like extremely blessed. And like that's, I think, even more now, like as I've like continued to grow, like I never say no to people that won't like, yo, let me come hear your set. I'm learning. Let me like, is it cool if I just come hang out and listen to you play? Yeah, please come through. Come hang out. You got questions, ask them. You know what I mean? You want to know why I did this in a certain time or whatever, ask. If you need music, let me know. You know, because I've been really, really fortunate to like be handed some things that a lot of people weren't handed, and I don't ever like look at it is any other thing. Like I know we all need help to get where we're going, and I've had plenty. So
Yeah.
I would never ever say like, oh, I did this on my own, or I'm like self-made. I hate that expression. Like when people say that, I'm like, bro, like you're just really like shitting on everyone that helped you along the way, even if it was just a piece of advice,
Mm-hmm.
or even if it was just someone that just like gave you some encouragement at the time you were down. It's like there's no way any of us make it on our own. You know what I mean? Like we all have help, man. Like encouraging words from a friend, family member, whatever. Like so, I always keep that in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I actually got a message on Instagram from Sir Marcus. You know him,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one half of the Tall Boys,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "You always, you had some of my homies on your pod, so I listened to a couple episodes, and you were talking a lot about like Goodnight John Boy and playing disco shit and playing disco house and all that." And he was like, "I like how I like what you're doing and how you're giving back to the DJ community." And like he put it in perspective of like, if you want something from the DJ gods, you have to give more than you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's how you get anything from them, And he
Yeah.
was like, I just wanted to see if you wanted this folder of disco house that I've been curating, like just reach out to me like that. And I was like, damn, that's crazy.
That's
Like
dope.
that's super sick.
Yeah.
Good guy. Obviously, like those are the things, that's the shit that keeps all of us going, right? Like once
Yeah.
you're accepted into this community, once you prove that you're here for a real reason and it's not like just some party boy shit or just trying to collect a check or whatever it is,
Yeah, man. I've had that happen too. Like where I've DJ'd in like random cities. I think I was actually in Connecticut at God, what is the name of that casino? It's in. I was just talking about it with someone. But it was like there's like it's Uncasville, Connecticut. It's where the Connecticut Sun play the WNBA team. There's a casino there, and I did a gig there. They used to have a club in this casino, and the guy that was playing there, I think he was like an older gentleman, super dope. He was like well versed in like 80s, like crazy. And we were just hanging out the whole night, and I never saw him again. But that night, he gave me this massive crate of like 80s new wave like music that like probably a third of it I knew. The rest was just like amazing shit. And I like organized it, and I was so grateful. And I'm just like, I don't know why he did this. Like this is crazy. Like this is like a lot of work this dude put into this. And then I just messaged him. I'm like, hey man, like I don't know what to say, but thank you. Like this is amazing. And I've used that music so much. And every time I like use it, I think of him because I'm just like, yo, that dude didn't have to do that, but he did out of the kindness of his heart, man. And it's like people like that, like they're gonna always be like taken care of, like in the DJ world, because he just gave back to someone that didn't even know he needed that shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was dope, man. Like if I could like, if I could ever have that kind of effect on someone, like I would love that. And maybe I have, maybe I never will. I don't know, but I'm gonna like try and just continue to try and give back. And like if I can have that sort of effect, like half of that, like I'll be happy
Yeah.
to just help someone feel like they're seen or heard. You know what I mean? Like, cause when I was coming up, like I had moments where I was just like, fuck man, like how am I gonna get into this shit? Like how am I gonna break into this shit? Like this is tough. Like this is tough. Like when I first heard Crooked, I was like, I don't know if this is for me. Like he was that good. Like
Yeah.
I was like, fuck man, like maybe this ain't for me. Like when I heard Vice, I was like, damn, like this is the level you gotta be at to be playing at these clubs. Fuck. Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? It's just you get that reality check, like, man, like even now, like when I hear Puffy, bro, like he's amazing. And I'm like, I know I'm really good, but damn, like this dude is like the way he commands a crowd and is on the mic and just like can hit Caribbean music and Afro beats, and he's good at EDM and hip hop and just reggae. He can just really do a little bit of everything, and his showmanship, man, like that takes work and effort. And it's like some of it's God given too, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it's a good feeling because it's like something to strive for, but at the same time you're like, fuck man, like it's like that competitive, like we're homies but let's still get after it, like it's still competitive, you know what I mean? So it's like you want to feel that like I like that feeling.
Yeah.
Like when I hear a dope DJ, like I don't like shy away like fuck man, like fuck that dude. I don't not it's like that hating feeling. Like no, I like it. It's like I need that for motivation. You know what I mean?
That
Like that
inspiration,
shit is fire. Like when I first heard Cutswell, I hadn't heard him in a while, and I had a fight in boxing in Scottsdale, and he let me play with him at Riot House, and I remember hearing him, and I was like, damn, okay, like yeah, like you really know this shit, and you know your room. Like I love this. Like just how you can command a room when you know it. Like I was motivated from that. And
Yeah.
I love that shit, bro. No, I love that shit, and I wish I could get more of it. It's like a drug, like hearing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love to be inspired by other DJs for sure.
Yeah, man.
I just want to steal all the shit I'm hearing. No, I'm kidding.
I was like, you ever get the moment where you're like, fuck, I want to pull out my Shazam right now, and I just like,
Yeah, I do it. I always do it.
Do you ever do it on the low, or do you just do it and like no?
You can auto Shazam. You know that?
Really?
If you hold it down, it'll just turn auto Shazam on. It'll run in the background. You just have your phone in your pocket, and then when you get home, you could see the whole shit.
I need to try that. I'll be getting embarrassed. Like, fuck, I don't want to pull my shit out.
Yeah, you got to turn the brightness down. You got to put that bitch under your shirt or something.
Bro, I'm like hitting the brightness to like 0.
Yeah.
I'm like looking around like, fuck, no one sees me, right? I don't want the security to see me either and tell on me.
Yeah.
Like,
or if it's like, sometimes even if I'm in the booth and it's a remix that I know won't be on Shazam, I'll just put it in Google real quick and screenshot it so it's in my photos so I can go back to it, and then I'll like go try and find it or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I remember
sometimes you just need that heat.
I know, man. I remember I was in New York 2021, and I went to go see Marty Rock, and he was killing it. I think he was at a rooftop spot he does Catch. He was at Catch on the road, Catch rooftop. I went to Shazam like 10 records. And we like went and had a drink after. He was like, I saw you Shazamming, motherfucker. I was like, oh no.
You got caught.
You caught me. I was like, fuck it, bro. You got me. I'm sorry. I had to do it. But it was like funny, but I was just like, bro, you was killing it. I had to. I didn't want to bother you. I was like, I wasn't going to ask you anyway. I was going to Shazam on the low. You would have never known, but you caught me. Well, yeah, like, I love that shit, man. Like seeing people kill it like that. Like, and shout out to him, man. He's doing amazing. Like, I see the shit he's doing. Like, I'm proud of him.
Yeah, I got to go out there and check those guys out.
Yeah, man.
All those
I think
guys.
they got like an R&B and Ribs coming up in New York too.
It's in New York?
Yeah.
That's going to go hard.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shots Noble slaps too, because that shit, the way it's grown is like insane.
Yeah, and I love that whatever switch happened on YouTube to where you can now put mixes up. Like I've watched Mark Cut's R&B and Ribs set. I watched Wonders, Tito's and Tia's set, which was fucking amazing. Like I'm watching all these guys' sets from all these dope events that they're throwing, because for some reason you can put them on YouTube now. It's been awesome.
I love that. Yeah. So they don't like, there's no like weird copyright shit anymore?
I think either it gets restricted in certain areas, or maybe if you do get ad revenue, it goes split to the people whose music you're playing or something. I don't know. Whatever happened, I think they made it so that you don't get like a strike on your account.
Okay.
So like there's things happening in the background, but like you're not going to get in trouble for posting it.
That's dope. That's good to know. I did not know that.
Yeah. There's dope DJ sets up there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. And that's inspiring. Like, you know, I threw on Dolo. He just released a couple all vinyl mixes, like funk soul, dope shit.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just sitting here high the other night. I'm like, I need some inspiration. Like, let me listen to some cool shit, you know? You just throw that on.
Yeah. What do you listen to in your car?
In the whip, it was for a long time up until recently, like all Boldy James, Alchemist, you know, West Side Gun and all that shit, Benny the Butcher, Freddie Gibbs, all that. Love that shit. But recently, nothing super specific. My brother has a playlist where, I mean, my brother sort of like taught me everything I know about hip hop, music, anything, pretty much anything, honestly. So he has a playlist that he just constantly adds shit to, like anything. Could be hip hop, could be rock, it could be some folk shit. There's all sorts of crazy songs on there. So recently I've just been throwing that on and letting it rock.
Yeah. I've been listening to like, I go through phases. I'll listen to like a bunch of just like new stuff, like new R&B, new hip hop sometimes, but mostly new R&B because I just really been enjoying the R&B.
How is new R&B?
It's good. Like there's a lot of good like Bryson Tiller, Victoria Monet, um, you know, her, like Kalani, like there's good shit. It's just you gotta dig for it. It's not like just evident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of it's just not a. And then I think our brains are trained to like listen to stuff that's appropriate to play in the club. So that's kind of hard to get out of. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of really good stuff. Like Snow Allegra's dope. I love her. Like Queen Naija. But they're more like vibey. It's just vibey R&B. Like not really stuff we could play. Which is kind of a good thing because I like just need a break mentally. So I'll listen to that kind of stuff. But then like I've been going through these like 70s R&B phases where I'm like listening to like old Billy Joel, and then like I'll be listening to like the Eagles, and then I'll be listening to like Use Me and just like random shit, like, but I love it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just Hendrix, and then I'll like listen to old reggae and then I got into samples and like listening to like David Axelrod. Like just random. Did you ever watch the Wu-Tang series?
No.
On Hulu? It's actually amazing.
It's good.
There's a scene where RZA is record shopping because he's trying to work on the second Wu-Tang album, and he goes in and asks for this record by David Axelrod called Holy Thursday. And so I'm like, what is that? So then I look it up. David Axelrod is this amazing dude from like the 60s and the 70s, and RZA sampled a lot of his shit, but it's amazing stuff.
I gotta peep that.
Yeah.
I love listening to samples and being like, oh, that's how you flipped
like
it.
It's insane how RZA was doing some of those samples, man. But like, yeah, just random. I just go through phases like that. Like it's really cool, like just in your car or in the gym, just vibey stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't really work out to like hard hip hop. Like it just doesn't do anything. I like smooth, like I like to be relaxed when I'm working out.
Okay.
So like that actually, like I can't do like energy in the gym, like getting riled up just doesn't work for me.
That's crazy.
I need to be like relaxed and just kind of zen.
That's crazy.
Like sit in the sauna for 20 minutes, chill, and then like listen to some R&B.
That's like one of my good friends. He's a wrestler. His whole family was wrestlers. His brothers were big wrestlers, and like when one of his brothers was younger, for some fucking reason, bro, his pump up song, like the track he would listen to before getting ready to do a match to get him pumped up, was "It's Amore." Like
really,
yeah. Yeah,
that's
fucking
wild.
like Italian pizza song. Like he's fucking getting pumped up. It's like a moon in the sky. Or
the wild shit is when I do the boxing matches, and then the walkout music. I have to orchestrate all the walkout music for the boxers.
Yeah,
and sometimes it'd be some really weird shit, bro. Like shit in different languages I don't understand, or like random. Like I'll never forget Rolando Romero. He fought Tank a couple of years ago, Tank Davis. Well, before that, I forgot who he was fighting, but he had a random song he chose from Prince, and it was from the Batman soundtrack, which I didn't even know Prince had a song on the Batman soundtrack.
Yeah,
but it's some really dark, freaky shit, like dark, bro. And it actually has a music video. It's weird. One of the weirdest, darkest. If you ever get a chance to just type in Prince Batman Returns soundtrack.
Yeah,
and
I gotta
it's some
peep
really
that.
weird shit. And I'm just like, where's this dude's head at that he's listening to this? Like, so like it's interesting. So when you say to your friend that he comes out to that, like, I can see it. Because I think you got to be a little any contact sport like that, football, wrestling, boxing, like something about you is different, like where you can withstand that kind of punishment. So the way you think, the way you listen to music is, I feel like it's equally as different. Like, cause something about you is just wired a little different.
Yeah.
Like, not in a bad or good way, but like You're
Whatever
just a
gets,
different breed, man. To
whatever
where you
makes it
can
happen. Yeah.
to like withstand that kind of punishment. Like, it's not for me, but you know, this is different.
Feel that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What else you got for me?
When, we'll wrap it up in a bit.
Okay.
This is, I gotta get ready for this wedding, bro.
Oh shit.
It's fucking...
Any other? Do you have any other questions? Or
no other questions. I mean, I was gonna ask. I mean, we were talking about like giving back to the DJ community, helping out new people, young kids, whatever.
Yeah.
Does like, has there ever been a time when somebody was trying to get something from you, but you didn't feel like they had put in the work to earn it yet, or something, or they're not in the right headspace? You know what I mean? Like they're not here for the right reason, kind of thing.
Yeah. Probably. I think that's probably, I hate to say it, but it's probably normal in Vegas, because Vegas is one of those cities where if you're just hot at the right time, a lot of shit can go your way. You know what I mean? And sometimes that door can be through the DJing door.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it to where people, you know, I don't know if they really care about DJing, but they just might want to get into it and just learn because it can open some other doors for them. And then that might rub me the wrong way, because I'm like, well, you know, if I'm going to invest some time in helping you, do you really like this? Do you really love it? Like, what's your plan with this? And if it's just, oh, I just want to like kind of be popular, or I kind of just want to like be in the know or be in the scene, it's like, I feel a little bad about giving that kind of game to you when I could like give it to someone that really wants it or really cherishes it or wants to be a part of something like the music community, the DJ community. You know what I mean? And men and women, I've seen it. You know what I mean? And I've seen situations also where I feel like it was just a stepping stone. So it's like, I don't really want to be a DJ, but I know this can get me somewhere else. So like, fuck, I don't know if I really want to help you with that, but it's like, I guess that's not really on me to judge. So I'm just going to help you anyway.
You're a good man.
And if you want to take that and do whatever you want to do with it, that's cool. But I think what I have experienced personally is situations where I've helped individuals, or not even say helped individuals, I'll say maybe I've given guidance or, you know, some kind of like encouragement in a way, and it worked for them really well. But when it came time for them to pay it forward, they didn't. And that bothers me.
Yeah.
So like, let's say if I help someone and then when they become in a position to help someone, they don't, that gets under my skin.
Yeah, that's
because
big.
It's like, yo, like, don't forget where you came from, man. You know, men or woman, whatever. Like, someone helped you, don't forget to help someone else, because that's how this shit works. Like, we all need that helping hand in some sort of a way. Like, sometimes it's indirectly, but you know, you need it. Like, you definitely need it. Like, and when you have the opportunity or in a position to give that to someone else, you got to do it. Because how else do you think this thing evolves, and how else do you think this thing grows, right? Like, if I'm a professional athlete, I love it when I see athletes giving back, going like putting on camps or clinics or different things. That's what you're supposed to do. Like, it's your obligation, because you went to those camps when you were coming up to get better, to get stronger, to like learn how to take care of your body, to practice, right? So when you get to that point where you're at a professional level, show others how to do that, right? So like, I try to show people, like, or show DJs, like, be organized, be early, don't be on time, be early. Like, do these little things, like remembers people's names, right? Like, that's not hard. A lot of people aren't good at remembering names. If you got to write them down, that's cool. Sometimes I forget names. I just write them down and put a note next to their name. Like, such and such manager here, like met them here, like just to help me remember, you know. But that's important to remember people's name, because nothing worse than meeting someone and you meet them for like a fifth time and like, yo, I just met you like 2 weeks ago. You like, you know, you didn't remember my name, like, yeah. But it's like, okay, maybe you did it. It's all good. I'm Darren. My name's Darren D Miles, whatever. But it's like I don't want to be the guy like, oh, what was your name again? Like 5 times.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like I try to take pride in remembering people's names, just little shit like that.
Yeah, that's big. I actually had a issue with that recently. Like, I'm bad with names, so I don't really give a shit if someone doesn't remember me after like 2-3 times max, right?
Yeah.
There was this kid, bro, this promoter who kept coming in the DJ booth. I play every Friday night at this spot, and he kept coming in the booth, and he was grabbing his sweatshirt that he left in there earlier, or like doing something, bringing a girl up there, or like I lit a joint. He wants to come hit my joint. I've seen this kid 7-8 times, and every single time he's like asking me who I am. And like, by the last time this happened the other night, I was like, bro, I've seen you 100 times. You're in my fucking DJ booth. If you don't know who I am, don't be in here.
Right.
Like, twice, 3 times, cool, whatever. But like, this was a vile amount of times.
Yeah.
It was insane. I like actually got mad. And then it kind of became one of those situations where I was like, should I apologize? I was kind of an asshole, you know?
How did he handle it?
He was just like I was being a dick and just not giving him anything. He was like trying to talk to me, and I just went back to DJing, you know? And I was just like I told him off and then just stopped interacting with him. And then he just left the booth, you know? Yeah. But I was kind of like, should I apologize? I don't know. I was definitely an asshole. But also I'm like, you're a fucking asshole.
Right.
You know?
And if he was self-aware, of the moment, he would have went home and looked in the mirror and be like, you know what? How do I keep making that mistake? Like, I should know this dude's name.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I'm not that guy.
Any person with a soul would feel that way. Some people don't like process it that way for whatever reason, which bothers the hell out of me. And there's certain people that just don't have a lot of things I think they should have, right? Sometimes it's just like common courtesy. Sometimes it's just a certain amount of empathy, whatever. Like, it's just, some people just don't have it, and I can't expect people to have it. But it's like, I expect you to, like, if you're in nightlife, you're in hospitality, there's certain things I would expect of you to be in that field. Just like if you're in other fields, there's requirements. Like, I think hospitality, it's great to be able to be personable and be able to like understand the value in networking, and to understand like, yeah, like, you're going to run into a lot of people. So it's okay to not know people's names all the time. It's cool. But if you're seeing familiar faces, you probably want to know those people's names, because you're going to be dealing with them. And when you're dealing with people a lot, like, it's just beneficial for you to know names, because you may have to introduce them to other people or whatever. Like, it's like, you don't want to be stuck and not know someone's name. That's just the weirdest shit ever. So I get it, man. I think you were absolutely right. It's like after the 5th time, it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like, I went up on a guy like that one time. I was like, bro, I know you. Like, you're from, like, I gave him a breakdown of how I know him. I was like, we met this way. I know you're from Atlanta, Georgia. We've had a conversation, and you still don't know my name. That's crazy. And he was like, I know, man. Every time I see you, I'm drinking. I'm like, well, you just got to get better at it, bro. Like, you got to figure out a way to, like, remember shit, because, you know, you don't want to do that to the wrong person. And they take it personally, and then you miss out on an opportunity because of it, because they think you just are too cool to, like, know their name, you know? And I'm not that guy, but it could happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
write people's names down. I need to do that. Sometimes if you just say it, like when I meet someone, I'm like, all right, say it back to them. I let them know, like, I'm doing this consciously to remember your name, because I'm fucking bad at it. Yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah, because I usually don't get it on the first try. And then I'll just say, hey, you know what? I apologize. Can I get your name one more time? And then I'm like, I'll never ask you again. Like, and they're like, cool. My name's blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool. And if I feel like I might forget it, I'll just write it down. Yeah. And then just keep it moving.
Yeah. I got to do that.
It helps.
Well,
man.
Let's wrap this up so I can shower and maybe get rid of this hangover a little bit. Get back to it, you know? What are you doing today? You guys see in the city at all?
We're going to eat at this Peruvian spot, Carabra.
I don't know if I know it, but I think
Yeah, I saw it. Like, I like with the help of some guys I know here, I put together this list of like restaurants I wanted to try. So that was one of them.
oh, Peruvian food's the shit.
Cabra.
Okay.
Cabra. So it's Peruvian. Then we're gonna do that. And then that rest is just kind of playing it by ear. So we might chill. I might try to link up with you later on.
Yeah, let me know. I'll hit you when I'm heading back into the city.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not too tired.
I really appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming through, bro.
Yeah,
and you're gonna be back in Chicago, right?
3 weeks. Yeah.
Tight. Yeah. We
so
should
I'll definitely link with you then again.
We should link, yeah.
Yeah, I would love that. I was trying to get Cuswell to come out here when I was out here, but I think he's got some other shit going on. He can't make it.
Bro, you should make him, he should be your roadie for the gig.
I told him. I was like, bro, like, let's make it happen. Like, I was like, it makes sense for you to come when I'm here, bro. Like, we can all hang out. You've been out here a bunch of times already. Strategies there. Like, that should be dope.
I'll try and put some pressure on him, too.
Please.
He's easily influenced by peer pressure, so we'll make it happen.
I love that. He's an easy sway.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment. Algorithm activating activity. That's what we like to see here. Thank you again for watching, supporting. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.